How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Fu Show. I'm your host, Coach Ali Fusho. Today is a very, very special episode because right beside me, or right in front of me, I have a CrossFit coach who's been at the game for I don't know how many years, and that's why he's here so that he can talk about his experience, talk about some technique tips, some tips and tricks that for beginners, intermediate, advanced athletes, or just people that just want to tune in and listen to the episode so that you can leave this episode and learn and be a better, smarter lifter. Beside me, I have Coach Ken Tan.
Hi, guys.
All right. Coach, I am super duper happy to have you here. So he mentioned that you listened to the previous episode. So my first guest was a powerlifting coach. Second guest was a strength and conditioning coach for basketball. And I figured that I think it's a nice turn of events that we now have a very reputable CrossFit coach to add into the mix. So that's why I messaged, you know what? I need a coach that knows his stuff. I need a coach that looks the part and is, of course, very, very knowledgeable. I was like, there's no other coach. Coach Ken Tan. I sent a DM in a flirty style because that's how you do it.
Grabe.
That's how you do it.
I thought it's just pure flirt. Meron ka palang kailangan sa akin.
Yes, of course. I need your knowledge for everyone to benefit from as well. All right, so let's start things off very straightforward. What are your credentials for being a coach? What are your certifications? What are your, if any, and what was your course back in college?
Okay, so course back in college. Funny lang, we were talking about this a while ago. I studied architecture, very far sa what I'm doing right now. And then typical style nga, I love sports, any kind. I did MMA, I did basketball, frisbee, swimming, all sorts of team sports. And then when I started doing American football, taco injury na. I was thin. I needed to bulk up, and I looked at online. Sabi ko, ano kayang ginagawang training ng ng footballers in the States. Then I came up upon CrossFit football. So yung CrossFit lang yung nag-stick kasi football I know, CrossFit. Back then, 2011, there was only one gym, CrossFit MNL. I joined that gym. Tapos, the coaches there are seeing in discipline ko because I really wanted to get big. I really wanted to get faster para hindi na ako ma-injure sa football. Eventually, they asked me, Ken, are you interested in being a coach? Kasi you like helping others out. With CrossFit kasi, it's all about community. Sabi ko, okay, but architecture graduate ako. I don't know anything except that I love doing whatever sports, whatever physical activity. I enjoy doing it. Sabi niya, try it out. So every time after the class, I stayed lang helping out the class, even though I'm not an official assistant coach.
Yeah.
I just like helping people out. But I'm not giving any cues. I'm not telling them what to do. I'm not giving tips kasi takot ako they might get injured. It's more of encouraging them.
That's a very valid fear that you don't want people to get hurt.
You have the coaches there doing their job. Tapos, I don't want naman na I'll contradict somehow what the coaches are giving. For example, if the coaches are giving this, tapos baliktad yung sabihin ko, magkakaroon ng clash. This guy is doing well in CrossFit, tapos the coaches are giving a different cue. I don't want to have that naman. So I was just there cheering people up na parang, let's go, you guys can do it. Hanggang sa the other members are saying na, uy, thanks for the push, ganyan. Sana sabay tayo mag-workout next time para mas ma-push ako. And then, later that year, 2011,
okay,
my coaches asked me na, formally, we're gonna open a new gym. Do you want to be part of the coaching staff? Sabi ko, okay lang. Sige, perfect. I love what I'm doing right now. Even though syempre, it's unpaid work. It's not official nga, di ba? Tapos, sabi nila, just intern, assistant, learn everything from us. So there's three. One powerlifter, one endurance athlete, tapos isang more on gymnastics, mobility style niya.
Well, it's a good mix, huh?
Oh, so I get to learn from a lot of different perspectives then. Tapos from there, I took my L1, CF L1. Tapos eventually got CF Gymnastics. Syempre, that's the circle. I started there. And then I fell in love with weightlifting. I took my USA weightlifting, level 1. And then eventually, I took CF level 2. Tapos I took then yung blading, ISTM.
Okay.
Blading course with, what do you call that? The taping also. So those are my credentials right now. And recently, then, I was a part of the Philippine national team for obstacle course racing.
OCR, yeah.
OCR, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So, how is that right now? Because that part of the OCR, I think I've only seen like some stories of that. Like, this is a quick segue lang. How's the community right now with OCR? Because I feel like it's getting bigger every year. Or how is it for you?
The time when I was coaching back in 2019, that was our SEA Games. So they needed they first time actually to have OCR in SEA Games. So they had their tryouts na and everything. Tapos they needed a new SNC coach for ano. I've been training an OCR team, Santi Barley, for the longest time. So the head coach talked to me, sabi, since you're training us naman for the longest time, and then I know your methods work, why don't you apply for the Philippine team?
Okay.
So that's when it started. Tapos it's getting bigger and bigger. Syempre, diba, the Spartan. Tapos meron pa yung the Conquer Challenge. It's all OCR events. Tapos yung nag-champion tayo, a lot of people got interested na, uy, yung nakikita natin sa TV, American Ninja Warrior, there's, meron na pala here.
May local version pala.
Kasi before, it's not as, siguro, like for example, ako, admittedly, I haven't ran any OCR events.
Okay.
Even prior to, even when I was coaching Kasi I don't like running at all. Diba?
That's just, you just don't like it. That you don't like running, so not gonna
so
bother.
I like the obstacles, pero I don't like running. So
you love to do the obstacles, but you don't want to run to the next one.
Yes. Diba?
I feel you.
Maganda kasi a lot of people saw the meron palang 100-meter na OCR, like the Ninja, yung American Ninja Warrior. So, mas marami din encourage. Kasi, totoo lang, if you're not, your fitness is not in check then, tapos bigla kang tatakbo ng 5K, medyo wasak ka nun, di ba?
Hindi medyo, wasak ka talaga
nun. Tapos mag-obstacles ka pa. At least with the obstacles kasi, it's more of a play. Para ka lang nasa park, nagma-monkey bars ka, nagsuswing ka. So, nasa-stimulate yung mga tao. But running's not for everyone. So, at least, lumaki yung growth ng community.
Okay, that's
except
good.
Nag-pandemic.
Which makes, I think the pandemic affected a lot of communities as well.
But I think then OCR is one of the first sports to get out there in pandemic. So, ngayon lumalaki ulit. They have the whole race all throughout the year na
and that's good. I mean, of course, it only makes sense that after 2 years of being in the pandemic that there's already growth in every sport now. Okay, let's try to get things back to normal. So it's nice to see that. So you talked about the OCR community. And that's one thing that I wanted to mention, community, because when it comes to CrossFit, a lot of the things that somebody would think about is that the sense of the camaraderie, the class, the teamwork, the hype between coaches and athletes. Community is probably one of the first things that a person would think whenever they think about CrossFit. Now, when you guys coach classes, generally speaking, of course, I know there's some days that's a bit less, some a bit more. But what's the average number of people per class that you would coach before?
In our gym, we would have our setup is funny kasi
Okay.
unlike other CrossFit gyms, it's always one class per hour.
Okay.
Okay, so we are fortunate enough that our place, the landlord, the landlord of the location we're renting, no, they allowed us to like work out outside our gym. So we just
even
need
outside?
to, yeah,
Okay,
even
okay.
outside. Super lucky, diba? That's we have a big running space, no cars or just a few cars kasi a residential area.
Okay.
So we just need to bring out some mats. We bought a rolled mat lang. Tapos our clients can just get whatever equipment they need. So we can run like 3 classes at the same time.
At the same time.
Or
Okay,
like
wow.
interlapping each other. Kasi we have a class that's 2 hour long. Tapos we have classes na 1 hour long lang. So nag-interlap yung tatlong class. Typically, size is about 6 to 8.
6 to 8. Okay.
6 to 8
okay.
lang. We limit it to 10 because we want the coaches then to make sure that we're focused on the athletes, on the clients. Kasi CrossFit is very technical. Like,
Super.
if
Sure.
if the coach is not
To talk.
to talk or experienced enough, it will definitely lead to injury with whatever sport naman, di ba?
Yeah, with
So,
every sport. Like
with
if
every
there's
sport
if you
naman.
don't really care about your technique or if you're just doing it like half-ass or not really thinking about it, injuries.
Injuries ano.
Soon
So
gonna
we
happen.
limit it to 10, but average there's 6 to 8 and there's 3 classes. So that's about
Wow,
18 to 24. But there's 3 coaches. There's
coaches.
always 1 coach per class.
So okay, at least it's not like the coach will go leave the class and then
No,
okay.
no,
So
no.
at least
So,
that coach handles that class
that class.
completely.
Tapos ang maganda since it's a rotation na. So if for example, I go to the other side to check the automatic, the other coaches will go to whatever side I left. Umiikot lang kami na umiikot. So there's always a coach.
Like
na
there's
set
always something
up,
happening.
whatever the class na brief na the coaches are briefing each other naman. This is the class, this is the program for today. So whatever they're doing, okay, ito yung ginagawa mo. Kahit ibang class, alam ko yung ginagawa mo. So everyone knows everyone talaga.
So it's logistically speaking, you guys really had to coordinate just to make
Yes.
sure that walang, of course, you do have a lot of equipment, pero obviously kapag kinuha ng isang coach lahat ng barbells or plates, of course, okay, so it's just coordination naman. So that's the reason why I wanted to mention about the class dynamics is because something that, and you mentioned injury as well. When it comes to CrossFit, of course, unfortunately, there are a lot of memes, and I'm sure you're on social media, you're familiar with this, that even though if people look at CrossFit and think about, oh, wow, amazing community, the other side of the internet would think otherwise
Injury.
before. I'm happy that it's way better already now. Like
Yeah.
people, the gym meme community, they wisened up naman the past few years. I was guilty also before, like in the early, because I didn't really think about CrossFit so much. Because I just listened to the memes. CrossFit, you're gonna get injured. It's all stupid, etc. But I'm happy that things are turning for the better, or people are just realizing the value that CrossFit can actually offer to you. But why do you think, what led to that point that the internet memed CrossFit so much? Like in the obviously, you're gonna speak in the local sphere, but what caused it, or is there anything in the local sphere that really proved those memes? Or go ahead.
All right, so I think even globally now, the entry level for coaching is very low. It's a weekend seminar. It's expensive. It's $1,000 back then. So it's, if you have the money, you're smart enough to pass the test, then you're a coach after that weekend. I think the problem begins with people not respecting the process. Like, okay, for example, you played soccer. You played for a year, took a whatever certificate, like an agility certificate. Then after taking that, I'm a soccer coach.
You're gonna put the title, I'm a soccer
So,
coach. You know.
Yun yung problema. Like a lot of people are not respecting. I think with not just with CrossFit, with the whole fitness community naman eh. Some people will join just like a competition of like bodybuilding or powerlifting. Next day, I'm a powerlifting coach, I'm a bodybuilding coach. So it doesn't go with just CrossFit.
Yeah.
It just happens that see CrossFit, there's a lot of technical things going on.
Yeah.
There's weightlifting, there's like powerlifting, then we do gymnastics talaga, handstands, diba? So those things not taught well, talagang
Yeah, that's what gets viral. And
injury talaga.
That's when, unfortunately, sa timing ng video, somebody would post it, becomes a viral failed video in CrossFit, and I guess tuloy-tuloy lang.
Tapos, one more thing is, a lot of people think na CrossFit doesn't have like science to it, diba? Walang programming, wala lahat. So, because it's random. CrossFit is prepare for the unknown. Parang ganun. So, wala naman. Unlike if you're doing like powerlifting, you have the 5-3-1s, you have that, diba? No, may progression every week. But si CrossFit kasi, since there's a lot of modality going on, they want to make sure that you're jack of all trades. You can run. The goal is not to run as fast as the sprinters or the endurance runners, but you can run. Same thing with the weightlifters and powerlifters. You can swim. You can lift. Not as heavy as them, but you can lift decent amount of weight, diba? So, ang problema, lahat ng yon natutupad naman, nangyayari naman. Like, I was at my best, I was running a sub 25 na 5K.
Okay.
While lifting 440 na back squat, and I'm still 187. So, I have decent numbers naman.
Oh yeah, those are
diba?
More than decent in my eyes.
So it's complete fitness talaga yun, hinahabol. You're not just strong, you're not just fast, you're not just like cardio wise good. Pero the intensity is supposed to be controlled pa rin in a sense na if you're not good at deadlifting, huwag ka muna magmabigat mag-deadlift. But the coaches kasi, the new coaches, they're like, okay lang, sige, go.
Push lang.
Push lang. They kept hindi nila na-separate yung intensity naman. So, mamaya, masakit likod, slip disc, ganyan.
Shoot.
So, those things. Imagine doing kahit 60 kg deadlifts for 100 reps with a bad form.
Oh, no.
So, finishing it in 5 minutes like that, tas bad form ka. Instead of like scaling it down the proper way, if you're like, you actually coach talaga, you're gonna scale it down. Like, pwedeng kettlebell deadlift na lang until you correct the form. Diba?
Actually, yeah, that's a good regression.
So, those are the things na hindi na-explain sa tao. So, like, for example, you admitted it na part ka nung nagmi-meme. Kasi, totoo naman, there's a lot of injuries. Pero, marami din kasing hindi nakapag-explain na pwede mag-scale ng movements. It's highly scalable. I've been coaching na a tita, 63 na siya ngayon, CrossFit. And she's doing it.
And she's performing well, I'm assuming.
She's performing well. Because pwede talagang i-scale si CrossFit. So, yun.
So, you're maintaining the principle that you're gonna try to have a good amount of strength, cardiovascular base, mobility, and all those fitness factors, but you're scaling it to the level of a 63-year-old tita.
Yes.
Diba? And you're not gonna be a hard-headed coach na, this is CrossFit, so you have to do a 60-kilo snatch right off the bat or something like that.
Yeah.
So,
pero the thing is, the thing why I love CrossFit so much, because CrossFit is scalable more than hardcore. That's why, like, I love it so much na before with all my sports, sa CrossFit talaga ako hindi makaalis-alis. Kasi it's for everyone in a sense na, okay, for example, you know how to snatch.
Yeah.
Then, iba na lang natin. Iba na ako, I'm a beginner. I can have the same stimulus but a different movements. Because snatching is technical, diba?
Super technical.
So, yun yung sinasabi ko na it's for everyone. That's why I love it na it's hard. I'm gonna admit it. It's deadly, pero
I actually love how you said that, because a lot of people would think the opposite. You said that you loved CrossFit because of how scalable it is and not necessarily hardcore.
Yes.
But I think with the memes and with how everyone treated it in the past decade, I would say that they would look at it as stupid hardcore, as in hardcore for no intelligible reason, as in just for the sake of pushing yourself.
Yes.
And I guess to bring it back to what you mentioned a while ago, it's just, unfortunately, and this applies not just to CrossFit, but to every sport or every discipline, the newer coaches, if they don't really respect the process of getting better or more skilled in the actual art of coaching, ang daming meme tuloy na nangyayari. So,
magkaka-meme talaga.
Magkaka-meme. So, oh, wow. So, I actually love how you phrased everything because, again, CrossFit is something that in every fitness aspect, try to get better. Will you be the fastest sprinter? No, but you're gonna be faster than like 90% of the entire human race, right? And that's great. So it's a great principle that you want to be a jack of all trades, decent at everything. But I think that also became the curse, quote unquote curse of CrossFit because it tried to do a lot or tried to teach a lot. Tuloy, ang daming what's this bad form. So let's try to do this, let's try to do that, and that's great. In principle, that's great to try to be good at everything. But I think the unintentional risk of that path, of that approach, is that you're trying to learn too much. Now, a lot of people are learning so little of it and they're not able to learn properly, whether that be technique or whether that be the coach's initiative on scaling. So I love how you phrase it because I never thought of CrossFit in that light. There were just a lot of local instances. Tuloy, it added up to the global perspective. But no, CrossFit in general, I don't think anyone's gonna disagree that if no one can disagree that getting stronger, having better endurance, better mobility, better power output, if you're gonna improve every fitness aspect, then you're definitely gonna be a better human in general. A more functional human. So sayang lang that all the memes actually came to be.
I think naman medyo nag-tone down na rin siya.
By a lot. That's very
good. I think even that's what I liked about the community naman talaga na it gave, kasi how big was like weightlifting before? Here, at least in local scene.
Yeah, it was there. Yeah.
It wasn't that big.
It wasn't.
Kasi
sakto lang. Yeah.
Sakto lang. Kasi parang paano ka nga ba magsa-snatch? No one teaches it. Wala. It's Tapos, syempre the CrossFitters, they want to be better at it.
To bring it more, yeah.
Diba? Kasi it's part of the it's part of the sport. So we will max out on snatch in an event, diba? We will max out on clean and jerk, whatever it is. So nagpapaturo sila sa actual weightlifters. Kumukuha sila like si Coach Pep. They're getting Coach Pep's help. Even Hiddelin helped out before. So, yun sabi ko na at least the process is getting respected in that sense na hindi ka kukuha. If you want to be a better weightlifter sa CrossFit world, you get a weightlifter also that can teach you. And that's what I appreciate about CrossFit the most. Kasi marami din talagang na way or path na binuksan si CrossFit. Like, a lot of CrossFitters then, okay, when I started CrossFit, I don't know anything about fitness, but I love lifting the barbell. Weightlifting scares me, so I'll do powerlifting instead. So, umalis sila sa CrossFit, nagpa-powerlifting na sila. So, nagiging main sport na nila. So, a lot of people also do weightlifting right now that started out with CrossFit. A lot of people stuck with gymnastics that started with CrossFit. Yung iba, nagiging runner na rin. So, yun parang at least you get to try what sport you want to do and fall in love with it.
That's actually pretty good. Because, of course, whenever anyone tries anything, you shouldn't really expect that, this is going to be your sport. That this is going to be the thing that you're going to commit your time and effort to. But I again, super love these points that you're making because obviously there's a lot of discipline within the big discipline of CrossFit. But for any individual to find out what they enjoy more, like what they actually see themselves pursuing long term. That's really good because a lot of people actually like super na given sa mind blown, but for the lack of better word, na mind blown ako like, oh ano, they just really have to experiment, try it out, give it an honest attempt, and then that's when you can learn for yourself that okay, I feel like like as you said, I like barbell work, but I don't want to do everything else. So tara na powerlifting na lang ako or etc. Then I guess you didn't mention, but I'm assuming there are individuals that when they tried out CrossFit, they're like, oh wow, I'm getting jacked, I'm getting more muscular. Okay, I guess I like bodybuilding pala. So I'm sure, wow, that's really cool to hear.
Parang if I'm gonna have a term, it's a gateway sport or a gateway fitness to other sport. Parang you try this out, you start thinking, mas gusto ko pala ito, di ba? Ngayon, CrossFit included strongman in their
adding
modality
it.
Na rin.
Cool, that's cool.
So, a lot of people then ngayon, kahit si strongman lumalaki. Diba? Strongman before it was just for huge
it's a
people.
very niche niche thing.
Pero ngayon it's getting bigger also because the introduction to of strongman to CrossFit brought people na, oy, kaya ko rin pala.
Yeah.
Now I can lift stones, not 300 pound stones, not 400 pound stones, but I can lift stones. I can actually do that.
Yeah, the modality, the practice
Diba?
mismo. Okay, that's great. Like super, because a lot of people think that whenever you go to CrossFit, like the goal is to just be better at CrossFit. But whenever it comes to any of these strength sports or any of these fitness sports, the goal is for you to be be better than who you were yesterday. So even though if you don't end up becoming a better CrossFitter, but if you realize that you love strongman or you love powerlifting more, you're gonna end up still being a better version of who you were last year, 2 years ago. And that's what, as a coach, that's all we could ever want for anyone, clients or athletes that go under our gym or under our wing. That even though we're not gonna coach them forever, we just want them to be a fitter, healthier, more active person for the rest of their life.
Actually, ngayon sinasabi with the thing you said, we're not gonna coach them forever. Ideally, syempre, income natin yan.
I mean, of course, like to be real, because this is still a business. I mean, this is something that we're practicing.
Pero the goal is for them not to be independent with us.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yun ako, syempre, as much as we'd want everyone to be our clients, kasi ito yung natin,
it's our livelihood
natin.
Yeah.
Pero we don't want naman to the point na dependent sila sa atin. We want them to be independent. We want them to learn. We want to make sure that once we're gone, the lifestyle changes still applies. Hindi siya nawawala na parang wala na si coach, wala na ulit yung buhay ko.
Yeah, like Coach Ken's not here. I just eat these Cheetos wherever na lang, diba? Okay, that's really no, because as you said, of course, income-wise, it'd be nice to coach them for a long time. But we have to make sure that everyone leaves as not only literally physically better, but confidence-wise in what they're doing. That, okay, I don't have coach with me right now, but we spent a good number of sessions learning how to do the push-up, the bench press, or whatever. Even though if he's not watching me right now, I'm confident that I'm doing it properly.
Yes.
And of course, as for your branding, example, your client stopped attending your coaching and then they go to another gym just to work out on their own. Tapos biglang may dumaan na, oh, yan yung client ni Ken, ah. Wait, ba't sama ng bench press niya? Or something like that. You don't want that, but
we don't want that then. Kasi, syempre, we want to make sure that what we're teaching is actually helping, not like putting them on the sideline pa. Diba?
Yeah, that's true, because you just want them to leave as a better person. Now, okay, so I'm happy that we were able to talk about a lot of like these deeper things about CrossFit, because to be honest with you, whenever I try, I mean, of course, I accepted that CrossFit, it's pretty good. It's not a bad sport. The memes were just too memey about it. They're just wanted to poke fun and tease unnecessarily. But I never thought of CrossFit in the light that you've shined it on today. It's really, really enlightening. So I appreciate that. But now, let's talk about some of the more specifics. Nothing too deep, just your personal preferences as a coach, how you operate your coaching, and just so that the newer coaches out there, because that's, I think, we kind of talked about it before we hit record, is that with this podcast, with the show, I do want more people, especially younger coaches, to learn. I mean, obviously, we're not going to claim that we are the smartest coaches, but with what value that we can provide, hopefully they can get better as well. Because the only thing we want, or one thing we want, is that for the fitness community to be in better hands as we get older and older. And of course, hopefully, whatever we say now can be of help for that. But all right, so one thing that I want to ask you is that if you can think of 1 to 3 things that you would look back when you started coaching at 2011. If you were to look back now, you'd be like, oh my God, like, oh shit, ba't ako ganyan? Like, were there any coaching cues that you regret saying? Were there any coaching cues like, oh wow, that's completely false? And then that you've learned in the past decade na ganito pala siya dapat, or this is the better way to perceive it?
I think, okay. So it's not more of coaching cues. Kasi a lot of our coaching cues naman, if you're gonna be completely honest, we learn it then sa YouTube. If you're doing your homework, diba? If you're doing your homework, you're gonna learn from a lot of like coaches then how they coach from YouTube or your mentors. So you know it's gonna work. The cues. But one thing I regret siguro is my personality is extrovert lang talaga ako eh. So I'm loud, I'll talk. Sometimes I can't control my mouth. So that's one thing I regret sometimes kasi I can't control my mouth. To the point na baka nakaka-offend na pala ako. And I did at one point of my career. I offended someone, a client, because kasi it becomes I'm not sure with you, pero with me, my clients, we take care of them as if they're family na talaga. So it becomes nawawala pa minsan yung professional that line eh. Pag nag-aasaran kayo, you'll think na okay lang, barkada na kayo eh. So that's one thing I regret kasi it's still a job.
Yeah, you're at the end of the day, we are servicemen.
Yes.
We providing us like physical service for them.
So that's one thing I regret. I offended someone, and if you're listening to this and I offended you somehow, I'm sorry. Sorry talaga. That's one thing I'm trying to like control and adjust with my personality. And second is what I also noticed at least in the local coaching community natin. A lot of coaches, even ako before when I was younger, we never cared about how we looked. And that personally, for me, it's presentation. Kasi kumbaga, like, you know, guys who go to the office, they wear their suits, they wear their whatever, gumagastos sila. Tayo, our pinaka uniform natin is our workout clothes.
Yeah.
Diba? So, why not invest on that? I was ganun ako before. Like, pang gym lang naman to. Sa gym lang naman ako pupunta. Even that's my workplace, inisip ko, sa gym lang naman ako. So, sometimes, people would that my clients would cut me short sleeve or So,
sandos,
mga ganyan. So, even though, ako personally, even you're jacked, you're super but you wouldn't wear that in any other job, diba?
Yeah, that's
papakita mo, diba? Kasi, especially with our culture here, it's very conservative. Diba? A lot of coaches then, they take off their shirt while working out or while coaching or, those things. Dun yun yung mga niregret ko before. Sana pala nagmukha akong mas presentable.
Yeah.
I talk to people better, mga ganyan. So those are the things. Kasi hindi ko alam, baka potential client yung
kausap mo, tas biglang
kausap ko, tas na-turn off pala because mukha tayong madungis.
Actually, that's a really good point because before, and of course, some people might say, but that's what you're supposed to wear because we are gonna work out alongside with them. We're gonna demonstrate from time to time. But even though as di naman sa snobby, but we do have to really invest to make sure that we look the part.
Yes.
And because these people, our clients or anyone else, they call us coach because they look up to us.
There's a certain level of respect.
Yeah, there is a certain... I mean, of course, there will come a time na if you've coached them for the longest time, you guys do become buddy-buddy na, sure. But at the end of the day, you are when it comes to everything within the gym, within the actual workout, the actual setting of the environment of the gym, you are the quote-unquote boss. So you don't, as a client, you don't want your boss to look parang malaswa or madungis.
Exactly.
So you have to demand that professional perspective. And of course, that's if it literally means us to spend more for our outfits, I think that's a worthy investment as well.
Kasi we're gonna use it then naman. We're gonna work out with it. So
you're using it.
It's an investment
for your work and your workout. Mm-hmm. So it only makes sense. So with coaching cues, there was nothing for me before, just to share one thing that I was super duper adamant about, and with no real reason why, just because I heard it sometimes on the internet. In classic, knees over toes sa squat. Don't ever let your knees go past your toes, because that's automatically, without a doubt, how wrong. You injure your knee. Diba? That's wrong. Diba? So you had no epiphany like that before?
Okay.
Perfect ka na pala ever since?
Hindi. With that, kasi I wouldn't say talaga na, okay, I regret coaching. Kasi ganun naman talaga nag-start na parang sobrang taboo, knees over toes.
Yeah.
Diba? So, but that time talaga, everyone was coaching that.
Everyone
then, the good thing, what I love about being a coach, kasi you should never stop learning.
True.
So, eventually, sabi ko, this is more natural. This is more, more functional in a sense. Kasi natural sa katawan natin more efficient siya. Mas madali pa siyang gawin. So, I'm not regretting it kasi lahat naman ng clients ko, when I explain to them, okay, we will squat a different way this time. Let's all check kung gagana sa atin.
Diba? Kung okay, so maybe your legs, let's widen your stance a bit more, or let's angle this a bit more. Then at the end of that session, we're gonna figure out, okay, this was more comfortable pala. Okay, let's stick with this.
So I'm thankful also because all my clients, or most of our clients still, like, they give 100% trust. Na pag sinabi namin na, let's try this, okay din sa kanila. Hindi sila yung parang, hindi naman yan yung tinuro mo dati. Are you contradicting yourself now? Parang ganyan. So, kaya nandun ako hindi ko siya nare-regret talaga. Kasi all my clients still believe me naman whenever na parang, let's try. May bago ako na pag-aralan. You wanna try it out? Kasi ito yung explanation sa kanya. Okay, coach, go. Basta pag may masakit, sabihin mo sa akin.
Okay, that's good. And that's a very, very good point, because whenever you're coaching somebody, it's never just you dictating what's gonna happen.
Yes.
Na, whatever happens in this session, no matter what you feel today, this is what we're gonna be doing. Wala namang ganyan
Wala.
Diba? So it's always about communicating with your client, whether this be in a class setting or whether this be one-on-one. You have to get the feedback or the opinion of your client. Of course, if they say, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. Of course, you have to stand your ground and say, no, this, I firmly believe that at this point in your fitness career journey, this is going to be the better option. So let's try it out. Tapos kung wala, then let's try something else.
Yes.
Okay. That's really good. Now, the next thing that I wanted to ask is, of course, I am very familiar with programming for general population, for powerlifting or bodybuilding to some certain extent. But I have no idea on how you can program a CrossFit program, or like specific for CrossFit. I don't know when to schedule the frequency. I don't know how heavy or how the intensity. So if I were to give you an example, let's say your athlete is 4 months out from a competition, and they can, schedule-wise, they can only do 3 times a week. Okay. How would you program that?
Right. So if they can only do 3 times a week now, the other 3 days, the other 4 days, 2 of those will be rest days.
Okay.
So they can do whatever mobility they can do at home. So if they have like tight shoulders. They can spend kahit 15 minutes lang after time stretching that shoulder. So at least it's still may points pa rin tayo doon.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Para hindi lang we are not wasting our day. This is competition or athletic style na tayo dito. Kasi it's very different ang Gen Pop sa
different
athletes, diba? Now, the other 2 days, you run. You run. You do whatever cardio movement you can do. You run. If you're bad at double unders, get a rope, practice at home. Kasi 3 times ka lang pwede magpunta ng gym eh.
Yeah.
The 3 days you are in the gym, we are gonna focus on your lifting. Kasi, like, all my clients knows this about me, about us, coaching namin. If you're not strong, that's a problem. Okay? It's a problem because if sa event, CrossFit kasi, it's not like a powerlifting event that you dictate what lift you will do. So, kung squat, ito lang yung squat ko, ito lang
you set your attempts. Yeah.
Sa CrossFit, there's weight na there.
It's fixed.
Whatever your weight class is, if your division is the whatever it is, RX or the scaled or the master's division, the weights are fixed. Hindi nagagalaw yan. Whatever, kahit sabihin natin na 200 pounds ka, 150 ako, we're lifting the same weight.
Wow, okay.
Okay? So, sabi ko, for example, na nilabas dyan is 350 deadlift and your max is 325, magtititigan na lang kayo ng deadlift. Because the strength is not gonna come out of nowhere, adrenaline, biglang super saiyan ka. Bubuhatin mo na lang bigla yung 25-pound your PR. Diba? So that's why we've, the 3 days that you are in the gym, we focus on weights. We focus on lifting. We focus on you getting strong.
For sure.
Tapos, the other day, diba, 2 days getting strong. The third day, or one of those days, we focus naman on your technique with gymnastics.
So when you say gymnastics, what specific?
Your pull-ups, your muscle-ups, your handstands, those things. Kasi technical din siya. We want to make sure that you don't like dislocate your shoulder, you don't fall on your head when you're doing your handstands. So ganun natin siya iproprogram. Kasi in running naman is you can do on your own. Of course, there's proper form and everything, but you're not gonna push naman to a point na magto 21K ka na masisira na talaga yung tuhod or your ankles or whatever, diba, shins mo or hips mo. At least those things that really matter during a competition. Kasi in running, kahit maglakad ka, matatapos mo yung competition. Eh.
That's true.
You're just, like, your score won't be
high. Yeah.
But you can still finish it. But with the lifting, again, and for example, if you don't have your muscle up or you don't have your handstand walk, you won't have that. Hindi siya, it won't magically appear on a competition. You prepare for it. So if you're strong, everything will be easier for you to do also.
That makes so much sense.
Diba?
Yeah. Getting stronger is never going to be a problem.
Yes.
Diba?
So that's how I'll program it.
Like the general, okay. Very good. I like how you were able to like properly like lay that out. So that's for a competition.
Yes.
Now, if this were to be if the scenario I was gonna give you is general pop class lang, tapos no competition nearby soon or like any time. Tama ba yung alam ko, like based on what I'm seeing online, that there will be just a workout of the day and then it's going to be up to the coach on how to scale everything for that class. So is that something, like, is there really a workout of the day that's posted in the CrossFit site ba? Or how? I'm not familiar at all.
There's always like a workout of the day that's posted in the CrossFit site. Kasi the idea nga of CrossFit is you can do it anywhere, everywhere, whatever. It's the best way to get fit.
Okay.
So it's you just need to give only like an hour of your time to do the workout and then you're done. Diba? Kaya they're posting it. Kasi it's, as long as syempre you have the knowledge, hindi ka naman, pag nakita mo naman cleans, tapos wala kang barbell, hindi ay, hindi ko kaya yan. Hindi, do kettlebell cleans, do the dumbbell cleans, diba?
Like alternative, yeah.
Alternative natin yan. So, there's always that. But that's not the only way to program. For example, kami, me and our coaching team, we program in a way na different siya. There's a strength part or there's a skills part now. We teach you how to lift. Hindi mo siya natututunan along the way. There's a specific like a 20-minute lifting session.
Okay.
So one lang yan, whatever it is. Squat, snatch, deadlift, press, or clean and jerk. So that's specific for that 20 minutes. Para at least 20 minutes is like it's a long time naman eh. Yes, the rest of the,
a lot can happen.
A lot can happen in 20 minutes, diba? Tapos the remaining time, yun doon na lalabas yung WOD natin. Okay? And it's not like alam mo yan, parang 'di ba pag the gym bros is Monday squat day or Monday bench day, 'di ba?
Okay.
Sa amin we in a sense we randomize it. So for if Monday is snatch day, next week Monday is not going to be snatch day.
It can be whatever.
It can be
another movement.
Muscle up, it can be clean and jerk, whatever it is. We randomize it in that way kasi like what you mentioned a while ago, there's clients na MWF lang pupunta. If we keep it that way na snatch, deadlift, bench lang ang MWF, yun lang yung matututunan ni client. So we don't want that. And of course, we're trying to avoid yung mga nag-cherry pick na clients.
Okay, yeah. Because so, I mean, of course, if they get better at just the squat, let's say bench or deadlift, I mean, that's not necessarily bad, right? If they really get to excel in those, but in the spirit or in the principle of CrossFit, you want them to be knowledgeable about everything.
Yes.
So you don't want them to be ito pala yung Monday is only this. Sige, di ako pupunta sa Monday. Tuesday na lang
diba?
So you want to avoid that situation.
Yes. Also, diba, syempre tayo dito, the only country I think that has number coding. So kung nilagay ko yung Tuesday, snatch day, at Tuesday ka-coding, you'll never learn snatch na.
That's
unfair
true.
din naman sa'yo yun.
That makes so much sense. Like,
diba? You want to learn it. Wala eh. May coding ako ng Tuesday, diba? So those things. And the last thing is, do you like running?
Oh no, I hate running too.
You hate running.
I super hate running.
If you know that Tuesday is running day, you'll skip running. You'll cherry pick. Diba? So, Wednesday, coding ka. Tuesday, running. Hindi ka na mag-workout basically. Yung 3 times a week na lang din pupuntahan mo dahil ayaw mo talaga ng running. So, at least, if it's random, you're already in the gym. Shucks, running. Wala, nandito na ako eh. Sige, tatakbo na lang din ako. And then, by doing it, you're getting better.
All right. So that's CrossFit. That's the scheduling and everything. I know for a fact that some coaches in different fields or different disciplines, they might not agree with that because, of course, they love specificity and they love anything that can be really measured there. So, example, with that schedule of CrossFit, some people might rebut and say, if the scheduling is quote-unquote random or just not fixed, how can you truly assess that this client or this athlete is progressing? So if somebody were to ask that for you, how would you respond to that?
All right. So, for example, snatch. We make sure that we still snatch once a week. Okay, because that again, at least in my gym, in our gym, in our box, we prioritize lifting more than anything. So the main moves, the main movement, we make sure that you at least do it once a week. Okay, so if you're snatching, let's say, the program on Monday is snatch 80% for 3 reps, then the next week, diba, whatever day it lands, Friday, Saturday, whatever day, you're gonna snatch 80%. Pero 5 reps naman. So that's how we can progress naman with that. So it doesn't need naman talaga. Like with coaching, especially right now during the pandemic now, not all your clients can do the weekly program.
Yeah,
we can make it easier for them na instead of like the 4 workouts you need to do it in a week, we can do it 10 days.
Yeah, that's true.
Diba? Pwedeng 10 days naman. Every other day ka mag-workout.
It doesn't have to be the fixed 7-day calendar.
Oo, diba? So, we, as coaches, we need to be more creative pa eh. Kung paano natin siya gagawin for our clients.
That's true.
With the everything should be quantifiable and everything should be that. If you're running 400 before at 2 minutes, and then right now during the workout na syempre, pinapatay nyo lang sarili nyo, pinapagod nyo, walang science dyan. But you're running it at an average of 130 na. Are you progressing?
Obviously.
Is it quantifiable? Okay. Then it is. Diba? If before you were doing sa workouts, you're only doing your box jumps at 24 inches. Now you're doing it at 30. Then you have a 6-inch progress. So that's how we quantify things. Then we have the benchmark workout. So for example, the easiest is the Fran 21. Not easiest, most parang popular.
Okay,
that's not easy talaga. Let me clear that out. It's thrusters and pull-ups 2159. Okay. First time I did it at 75 pounds. Tapos pull-ups 75 pounds. RX is 95 just to see what level of fitness you are in. That's why we have the RX. Pero hindi ko naman kaya. Okay. So hindi ko pipilitin yung 95. That's what I mentioned a while ago. It's scalable. But after 3 months, I did the RX na. 5 minutes ko na siya natapos. So that's progress. I got stronger. I got fitter. So that's how we measure it.
Okay, so because a lot of people would be fixed na, it has to be a fixed structure na this week, na yung day 1, day 2, day 3 mo for week 1 has to always be similar for week 2's day 1, day 2, day 3. So with your, not your, but with CrossFit's framework or structure, there will be times that your strength will be proven because of that scalability or like that benchmark that, before you were only able to do this, but after doing it for a month or 2, really being consistent, they will now be able to, I'm doing 95. I'm doing the RX at a faster time na. Okay,
Tapos,
that's really good.
One more thing, like I mentioned it a while ago that CrossFit is the only sport that like stuck with me for the longest time. I mentioned I tried different sports. I think with the structure of programming kasi, it's good. It's effective. Pero for a person like me, I think I have ADHD. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I can't stick with that program for 11 years.
Okay.
Imagine that, diba? 11 years ko na ginagawa ng CrossFit. If it's the same program over and over again for 11 years, what would you feel?
You just be so bored na out of it.
Diba?
Not motivated to do it at all.
So with CrossFit, it gives you what's for tomorrow. May ganun surprise na parang, easy day lang tomorrow. Bodybuilding day lang tomorrow. Running day tomorrow. Shit. That's the runners. Finally, running day tomorrow. So it still gives that. Kasi we're programming not for athletes. Gen Pop pa rin naman ang target natin. We want the Gen Pop to feel better. And if they get excited na, anong gagawin natin bukas? Anong matututunan natin bukas? How can I parang surprise myself tomorrow? It keeps them coming back.
That's so good too. I really love that perspective on it.
Diba? So if, for example, you did powerlifting before, you mentioned also in your vlog that in your first episode that you learned that it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure a lot of your clients then parang ba't ba ako every Monday squat na lang, every Tuesday bench, every Friday deadlift. They're just doing it because you're asking them to do it. Pero eventually magda-die down yun. Okay, what's next?
That's really good because the fact that you mentioned you would probably, or anyone, not this applies to everyone, there might be a sense of boredom towards the end. Or parang some people, of course, everyone can be different or whatever. Some people prefer to have a fixed structure because they want that part of their routine. But I think majority of people would want some variety here and there. I think that's a very good pro that CrossFit can offer for a lot of people. All right. The last thing, or one of the last things that I do want to ask you is that since you mentioned you have been doing this for 11 years already, what's the biggest advice that you can give to a coach that just started out? A coach that has been started in the game of coaching for like under a year?
learn.
Learn.
Whatever stage you are in your coaching career, always be open to learn. Like ako personally, what I in motto ko sa coaching, if whoever it is, if they're teaching, if they're trying to teach you and you're if you can use it, take it. If you can't, dump it. It's always like your willingness as a coach to learn. Kasi that way, mapapass mo rin yun sa clients natin. Like I think there's a lot that I'm not sure if you'll agree that the more traditional yung mga old school coaches na dito, the growth stops kasi they've proven themselves for too long, mga 20, 30 years na nagtuturo dito sa local scene, that they're not open for
change
na criticisms, that like you can actually squat knees over toes pala, hindi pala siya delikado.
But they're gonna shove that idea away.
Yes. So one thing na advice ko for all the new coaches or even the coaches right now is learn. Like keep an open mind on learning. Wala naman mawawala eh.
That's true.
Diba? Walang mawawala sa inyo.
Okay. So that's when it comes to perfecting their craft. Obviously, you have to keep on learning. But I had a conversation with a beginner coach, like just within the past week. Another thing that he wanted to talk about or ask for me is on the business side of things, which is something that we're not obviously comfortable talking about all the time. But business or career-wise, he was asking, when does he know that he can increase his rates? Obviously, you've been doing it for 11 years now. Yung income mo 11 years ago is definitely different now to your business or how your income is now, right? How can you value yourself as a coach more? Apart from learning, and this is, I guess, a tough or vague question, but how can you know that it's time for you to increase your rates as a coach?
Okay, so I want to be fair for everyone, for client side and for at least our way, no? So even if you're experienced enough, like that, I've been coaching for 11 years now. If there's nothing new you can offer, then personally I don't increase. Kasi it keeps you accountable then for learning.
That's so true. Yeah. Wow.
Kasi like for example, my wife is getting coached overseas. She got a mentor overseas. I got a mentor overseas, and we're paying them para matuto kami. And pag natutunan na namin lahat yon, we will feel like, okay, we can offer something better, something newer, something more maybe mas advanced, hindi natin alam. Then we can charge a little bbit higher. But for 11 years, for example, CFL1 lang kinuha ko. And dahil lang sumikat ako and something like that. Kaya I think it's gonna be unfair then for the clients na they're paying for your name, not your service. I think, di ba, ayoko maging bias kasi I want the coaching community to grow. And if magiging bias lang tayo, Ali Fusho, sikat, pwede siyang maningil ng mahal. So it's popularity contest pala, hindi
service provider
hindi
contest.
Service providing contest, di ba? So if you're learning, if you're investing in yourself, like you're taking whatever, if you're studying again, your masters, basta you keep investing knowledge to yourself, then you can charge more and your clients will appreciate that. Kasi sila din naman yun makikinabang ng knowledge na yun. Diba? And they're just paying a fraction of what you actually paid for. If you, like, to give you an idea, like, my wife's, what she's paying is about 40-50 grand a month for that mentorship. And it's just a fraction of, diba, whatever our clients will get. Because that's us investing sa sarili
in yourselves,
natin.
Yeah. Because you believe that the value that you can get from this, you'll be able to transfer it or you can be able to share it through your clients or through how, like, sometimes when you would post online or whatever. So just you making sure that it first starts with you getting better
Yes.
as a coach,
Yes.
continually learning. And then that's when you can be like, okay, I think it's time that since I believe that I can provide a better service, I believe that I can charge somewhat more of a premium. But again, price aside and everything, it all starts with you and your craft and your ability to help your clients, to your ability to serve as a coach much better.
So again, it's a service provided na industry. It's not popularity contest.
It's really not. Kasi who cares naman kung whatever, let's say, IG followers or YouTube subscribers, it doesn't matter if yung at the end of the day, yung quality ng binibigay mo is baliwala. Or like it's very half-assed lang.
Totoo. Yun. For the beginners out there if you're looking for a coach, always make sure that you don't get the most popular one.
Yeah. Because probably the most popular one is busy trying to be the most popular one.
Yes.
And not trying to be a better coach. Oh, see, this is why I got Coach Ken to be here, because to get these amazing insights, everything. So from start to finish of this episode, super solid, like everything opened my eyes or enlightened me with some different aspects of CrossFit, different aspects of being in the career mismo of being personal training or coaching. Really, really solid work. Normally, I would like to end with some juicy, not really juicy questions, but before kasi I asked, what's your favorite this? What's your favorite hinge movement? What's your favorite whatever?
Yun nga inaantay ko, sabi ko, shucks, baka tanungin ako mga
But then, I was gonna ask that, but then I realized throughout our conversation that in the discipline of CrossFit, I think that's not something that should be even bothered asking, because it's not about a specific movement. It's about you being better. So I was like, I have the list, but then I don't think. But I realized that, okay, I think it's best that based on what Coach Ken said, it's really you just trying to be better in every aspect. So no matter what your favorite is, you still just have to, your goal at the end of the day is to be better. So no matter what the WOD is, you get the work done, you get the shit done. And then that's how you know that, okay, I got it. I'm getting better, I'm getting stronger, better endurance, getting better in every aspect. So, Coach, I really appreciate the time. I appreciate all the knowledge, everything that you shared with us today. I'm super sure that all the newer coaches and everyone who just listened all the way throughout the episode has found a lot of value. So, thank you for being in this episode. This is episode 6.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. And to let the viewers know that this is probably this is the first time that Coach and I have been just to talk to each other for a lengthy time. But through the past how many years, similar with Coach Raymond, with Coach LA, yung DMs namin, panay, ang daming emojis, unnecessary emojis. But of course, once you meet them in person, of course, we all know that the people that I want to invite are people who I know who are authentic in their craft as a coach. That's why I got Raymond. That's why I got LA. That's why I have Ken right now. And everything that he said, everything that everyone has said, super happy because these people are legit. So if you liked anything that Coach shared in this episode, please. Where can people find you? What's your YouTube, Instagram, or whatever page you want to promote?
It's Train with the Tans in YouTube, Instagram. Yun lang. Isip ko, meron pa ba?
Meron pa.
Facebook.
Okay, so
Train with the Tans. Our personal account is the Ken Tan.
Okay, so make sure you check that out. And your wife Louise,
yes.
She's also a coach. So maybe next time I can invite her so that she can be the first female guest that I will have over. So maybe you can put in a good word for me because I've never met her as well. Hopefully she'll have her because of course I saw that she competed in bikini ba or figure.
Yeah, before.
So before, and of course now transitioning into more family.
Family fitness.
Fitness.
Not generally, not naman specifically sa family, more on mas overall fitness.
Overall fitness
for everyone. If you have kids or kahit wala, overall siya.
And I think that'll be a great episode to have a fit mom over. So ikaw hindi ka na invited, siya na lang.
Driver lang ako. Driver lang ako sa Jollibee na lang.
But once again, thank you, Coach Ken, for joining us, and thank you guys for watching all the way through. We'll see you guys next week back at the Foo Show.